Hey guys, Rob Shoecraft here with Restore Fitness, and I'm going to talk to you today, while it's fresh in my head, about my first jiu-jitsu competition, first Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition. I'm making this video. Nothing I'm going to say in here is going to be new to anybody. In fact, it was amazing how much everything everybody told me leading up to this thing was true times 10. And it really blew my mind. The whole experience just completely. I mean, it's still fresh again. But I know it sounds dramatic, but it really changed me. I could definitely say that. I'm making this video number one because it's just therapeutic for me. When I get in front of a camera and just start talking, start ranting, long-winded style. If you've seen my videos before, it helps me. Somehow it helps me gather my thoughts and move on with my life. But I'm also making it because, not so selfishly, for anybody who has either competed before and wondered what the heck happened to them, or somebody who's about to compete for the first time and is starting to maybe freak out a little bit, or perhaps they're overconfident. Somebody who's just kind of curious what to expect. So I'm going to do my best as somebody who has now competed once in their life to explain just kind of my thoughts about it. So number one, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 5.5 years. I've been doing it mainly once a week for the majority of the time. I try to go to days where I can hit 2 classes in the same day. Just jiu-jitsu is it's far away from me. It's over an hour away, and I'm busy and this and that. But I've steadily been able to go consistently at least once a week for the last 5.5 years. I started teaching fundamentals. And I'm going somewhere with this. Started teaching fundamentals, like the white belt curriculum, for many reasons. About a year ago, number one, or one of the reasons, is so that I could get more time. Hold myself accountable so I can, drill the fundamentals over and over again and show other people how to do them. Anybody who's ever taught or helped with a class, even if it's just like a kid's class or something, knows that you digest things better for your own game when you teach it. So all that to say, I have some amazing students, and many of them just are obsessed with jiu-jitsu, and they want to compete. They love the sports side of it. And so I was going to go to Charleston, West Virginia, for this little, just a small town. It was a small town competition in a high school, hosted by Fuji. Anyways, and I thought, if I go to this thing to support them, but I don't compete, I'm just going to regret it. I'm going to feel like trash the whole way home. I should have done it, this and that. So my fear of competing, of getting out there and doing it, outweighed my fear of not doing it. So that's why I decided to do it. And it's something I've been saying for years that I'm going to do. I want to just try it. I'm a guy, I just like to get experiences. Just know what other people are going through, even if it's really hard. And it was. So I lost. Spoiler. I rolled in I competed in the super heavyweight division. I think it was 225 and above. I think it was supposed to be 215, but they ended up doing 225 and above. Just me and one other guy, and we did best of 3. He beat me both times, and my hat's off to him. He's definitely better. He's just better. I mean, no question about it. He's competed many times. Of course, I'm like freaking friends with him by the time we roll. I was kind of hoping I would hate him. I was hoping he'd be a jerk, but he's actually a really nice guy. And so he was smooth, calm, and collected out there. My wife was telling me that she was watching me before I went out, and I was just sitting there pacing and like doing this and just all over the place. And in my head, I was just standing there, just kind of having a self-talk. And apparently, though, I was out of my mind. I was all over the place. I was like a chicken with his head cut off, running around before I went out there. So that's one thing. That kind of leads me into this. I would say that I'm probably more, I'm not trying to just bash myself here, but it's truthfully speaking, I'm more of a choke artist probably than most people are. Like everybody gets nervous under pressure and you know, but I tend to really beat myself up real bad in situations like this, even when I don't know I'm doing it. And my wife has seen me over the years. She told me afterward, this is going to make her sound terrible, but she's objective. I appreciate her feedback. She said, I could tell, so the competition was on Saturday. She said, I could tell that you lost on Thursday. She said, just the way you were carrying yourself, she just said, I could just see it in your eyes that you had already lost. So again, that makes her sound terrible. She's not. She's sweet and she supports the heck out of me. She sat there for 6 hours watching me and my students compete. My students, by the way, did awesome. They swept the thing. They got 4 golds in 4 different divisions. I was so incredibly proud and impressed with them. But as for myself, I went out there. So everybody told me just try to stay calm, just focus on breathing because your nerves are going to be crazy. Try to warm up if you can. I warmed up when they called us to the mat at noon, thinking, okay, good, I'm warm, I'm ready to go. Like, let's get this thing done. And I didn't end up going until 3 hours later, at 3 o'clock. So that's one thing. Just the waiting is terrible. Anybody who's done a competition knows that, of any kind, really. I'm sure, like, anything from dance to cheer to whatever. Competitions, powerlifting, I'm sure it's the same way. I've never done that. So you're going to be prepared to wait. Try to find a way to warm up. I'm not exactly sure what the key is there as far as timing that correctly, as you might just have to deal with it. As far as eating goes, I was drained. I mean, I packed snacks and everything, but I could barely eat them. My stomach wasn't working, all that crap. Anyways, I completely detached from my body. It was like when time to go on the mat, I wasn't there anymore. It was like I want to say it was like dreaming. I don't know if you ever got in a fight in your dreams, or you can't throw punches, or you can't pull the trigger, or whatever kind of screwed up dreams you're having. Like I couldn't. It was like everything was so hard. It was like I was like underwater. It was like I was driving this machine that's me, this 250-pound machine that would not do what I wanted to do, and everything took such a huge amount of energy. So people were telling me, like, look, just relax, roll like you roll on the mats. Like I bet I've rolled 2,000 times, and I've rolled with guys bigger, stronger, and better than this guy. No disrespect to my opponent, he was better than me, and he was great. He was excellent. He actually went off, and I felt good. He beat a purple belt in the no-gi competition that he did after that. So it made me feel a little better. You know, it's something. But you know, I've been there before, so to speak. Like I knew it would be different, but I didn't think it'd be that different. Especially since I didn't have any. There's no money on the line or anything. But somehow it got to me, and according to my wife, it got to me several days prior, and I think she was right. And another thing people told me was watch your grips. You know, I was doing gi. I didn't do no gi. I just decided I'm just going to do gi. I did gi, and I'm trying to keep in mind, like, okay, watch my grips, because apparently what my professor told me was, Carlos said, watch your grips, because when you grip, you're going to be gripping a lot tighter than you think you are, and you're going to blow your grips real fast. And what he didn't tell me, and I'm not blaming Carlos for this, I wouldn't have mattered anyway, but it wasn't just my grips. It was every single muscle in my body. Like I said, back to the analogy where I'm driving this machine, it's like I'm driving this mech or something. Every move I took was like the most energy I'd ever expended. We're talking like a step, like stepping in, just kick the chair, stepping into, you know, feint a double leg or something. Like my legs would just lock. Like it was so intense, just the buildup of, I don't know, metabolic, just adrenaline. I don't know exactly what was going on. It was quite fascinating. If I remove myself from the equation and try to look at it from the outside looking in, it was very interesting. The physiological and psychological response to even just a simple, low-key high school gym, couple 30-year-olds going at it, trying to pretend to kill each other. What is going on there? And so, like I said, it wasn't just my grip. Like, even today, my left bicep. So I had him in I didn't really have him. I thought I did at the time. In hindsight, I didn't. I thought I had him in a little bit of a chin strap guillotine, if you know what that is. And I've done a million chin strap guillotines, and guillotines of many different flavors. And very rarely they'll tell you, in the class, like, oh, you got to watch out. When you apply pressure, if any really choke, you got to ease into it because you can fatigue yourself. And when you're learning this, you're like, how am I going to fatigue? I'm just going to choke them out. It'll take 2 seconds, right? How could I possibly burn out? Burned out, like my bicep. I feel like I did 5 sets till failure of bicep curls. Like I must have, for just that 5 seconds that I had him in that guillotine, I must have put forth so much effort that if it just absolutely blew my bicep, my triceps, framing. He got on top of me, and he basically stepped off. I let him go. I think it was going to bon flu me or whatever, and stepped over the guillotine or my legs, and I was framing the whole time, and my triceps felt like it was a 4-minute roll, and it felt like I had done 15 drop sets of close grip bench press. I mean, absolutely fried. My legs, my butt, my hamstrings, my quads even were completely smoked to the point that I couldn't stand up afterward. Like I know everybody has it bad on their first roll. A lot of people do anyway. But man, I really did a number on myself. I don't know what happened. It was insane. And it was crazy. Like every part of me it was like if I'm controlling this mech and I hit, right arm, go, it's like catastrophic short circuit failure. Like everything dies. Like it was crazy. I'm trying to do these techniques that I knew. Got my coach, my buddy Joe. Thank you, Joe, again for coming and supporting us. Joe came and he's giving me all these tips from the sideline. We had a game plan and everything, and he's telling me what to do, and I can't do it. I've done it before a million times, but I can't. Not only could I'm sure not make myself do it because my technique wasn't good enough and his defense was good, but my muscles were just done. So the second round, he beat me in 4 minutes with a Kimura, and we went again at about 3 minutes after that, and I was just thinking, I feel better. Like I have a load off. Everything people say is true. Like the first one's the worst. Get it out of the way. I felt better, but my body was done. Like I was trying to be like, no, you can get through this. Like it's all in your head, and I'm sure a lot of it was, but no, I was done. Like by the second time, once we got through, I think he tapped me the second time in 3 minutes with a choke, and I went to get off the mat, and I couldn't freaking get up. I couldn't stand up. Now I felt a little good. Maybe he was just pretending to make me feel better, but he was tired. We were both laying down. The ref was like, "You guys are a couple of big tired bastards, aren't you?" And I couldn't stand up. Like my legs wouldn't work, and I couldn't push myself up because my arms wouldn't work. Everything was gone. It was amazing. So I'm telling you all this. Now, the cool thing is, or sort of the frustrating thing, if I look at it purely selfishly, all the guys who competed, guys and gals, shout out to Bailey too. She did awesome. She's a high school girl who I felt bad for. There was nobody in her division, so she had to roll with teenage boys, and then the no-gi division, she had to roll with all women. So she had a tough deal. She did great, but everybody did so well. Like a couple of the guys just looked so smooth, and it wasn't their first competition. I'm teaching guys fundamentals of jiu-jitsu, and they've already competed 3 times. Been doing it for like 6 months. They just love it. They're different, and so much respect. I have so much respect It's all stuff that you've heard a million times if you've been in this world. But now I get it. I totally get it. Like, so much respect for everyone who competes, for getting out there. Because people, you know, my buddy Joe, he was telling me, like, man, it takes balls to get out there on the mat and compete. I was thinking, I'm like, I think I get what you're saying, but like, I'm not really afraid. I mean, like, I'm not gonna get hurt, you know. I mean, I might, but I'll tap. I'm gonna be smart about it. But no, it's different. I respect anybody who's able to maintain that composure, especially freaking win. It's just amazing to me. So if you compete, I have nothing but respect for you. Nothing but respect for my instructors and my coaches and my students and my opponent. It's just amazing. Like my mouth guard. My mind's I just can't believe how much it affected me. It's insane. My mouth guard. I have cuts all over my mouth. Apparently my jaw is sore. Like apparently I was biting so hard and just wild. What the heck was I going to say? Yeah, I would recommend if you're thinking about competing. I don't want that to happen to me again. It will probably, just hopefully to a lesser degree. And I wasn't that great of shape. I'm doing these freaking bodybuilding workouts, which really don't help your game very much. I mean, I'm not making excuses now, but truthfully, I could have been in better shape. I could have been rolling more. Could have been training more. This is kind of a spur of the moment decision. Absolutely. Like there's so much of my technique that I learned definitely need to work on, especially my bottom game. But truthfully, I think that even if I were twice as good and twice my conditioning was twice as good, I think I still would have had that weird sort of just adrenaline dump crash. And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So even though I don't really have much, I'm not the most competitive person. I don't have that much interest in racking up a bunch of golds. I mean, it'd be nice, but what I don't want to happen is I don't want to be in a situation where I need to be able to defend myself, and I'm crashing like that. You know, again, 4 minutes against somebody who's just as big as me and more skilled. I mean, I think I'd be okay against just some, you know, street trash trying to mug me or whatever the situation would be. But still, I don't like not being in control of myself. So I think I'm going to compete again. I don't know exactly when. I'm going to try to get in a little better shape next time, just all around everything, my technique, my conditioning. But I want to, just for the experience of being able to deal with that better, I think I'm going to do it again. And I recommend anybody, you always hear, you know, your bucket list for jiu-jitsu, compete at least once. Whether or not you care about competing, just experience it. And I get that. Like all these things that people have told me over the years, I've heard people talking about competitions, this adrenaline dump, blah, blah, blah. You'll see. It's amazing. It's really cool. Actually, it's cool. It's a shame that it happened to me, but I'm glad it did because it was a big learning experience. So I'm done ranting. Thanks for hearing me out if you're still with me. I'd love to hear about your first experiences. I know there's some people get out there and they just dominate right off the bat, and you know, good for them. Seriously, that's amazing. Yeah, that wasn't me. I got work to do. That's all right. That's why I did this. Find out what needs to be done. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please subscribe to this channel if you're interested in usually fitness videos and random product reviews, but every now and then I talk jiu-jitsu. And you guys have a great day. Thanks a lot.